Cognitive overload. What does cognitive overload mean? Okay, let's start with how we process this information. So you start by having your senses ignited, so you are stimulated. From there, you process auditory and visual separately. When you have visual and auditory information at the same time, you can process both because they're processed in different areas. However, if you have two visuals, like a picture and some text, they compete with one another, so it's harder for you to process those at the same time. Next, we move to your working memory. That is your working memory established schema at a single time, and a highly practiced automated schema barely counts at all. So learning activities that draw upon your existing knowledge expand the capacity of your working memory. So that means that pre-training or teaching skills before you introduce a topic will help them establish schemas that extend their working memory. So that means that they can understand and learn more difficult information when they've been introduced to it prior. Basically, you're giving little bits of information at a time, and eventually, when you want to throw in a large amount, the brain is familiar and accepts and keeps that information. So how do we know that we are being overloaded? We intake so much data that we are left confused and unable to make a decision. So the causes of overload today, the amount of information available online is overloading. There's too much. How easy it is for people to share and copy information online is what is adding to all the abundance of information that we have. The increase of ways to share information like the radio, the TV, print media, emails, websites. There are many different ways to receive information along with the amount of information that's available. The lack of simple methods of comparing and processing information and the pressure of competition between industries means that whoever has the most information available is the winner. So those are some ways that we are overloaded today with information online. So the solution, getting information off the internet is like taking a drink from a fire hydrant. So ways that you can avoid this as a presenter, as a designer, is to keep things simple. The less information you have, the less information you give, the easier it is for them to understand. Keep it relevant. Make sure that the user actually needs the information that you are giving. Keep it clear. Simple, relevant. It needs to have clarity with it to be effective. And provide supporting information. Make sure that it's relevant, provide balanced information that you present both sides and not just one, and make it easy for the user to take action if that's needed. Okay, so that is, as a presenter, that is how you avoid overloading your audience. Now, how do you avoid overloading yourself when using hypertext, hypermedia, the internet? Feel free to ignore information. That doesn't mean that you ignore things that are important, but if things can hold off, then put them in a separate category and wait and address it later. Don't feel guilty for ignoring information if it's overloading you. Feel free to take action without all the facts. We do this all the time. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? When you realize the answer is probably not a lot, just take action. Create an information queue that you can look back on after you've searched through all the information you want to look at. Don't feel pressured to deal with information as you get it. You can set it aside and come back to it later and tackle it at a different time. Filter through information. Look at it, glance at it, decide if it's important and if it needs to be done right now. Decide if it's something that is relevant enough to look at, and then come back to it later if you need to, or address it right then. Learn to skim. Most information really only contains a key point or two. So grab those points and then move on. So the last couple things I have is examples. So this is an example that is obviously an overload. The person that created this added way too much. There's too many flashing texts, too many moving pictures. The background is busy with all those different patterns, and there's too many tabs at the bottom to search through. And at the top to search through, and on the side to search through. So this ad is overloaded. The consumer is going to look at this and just click out of it because there's just too much. So here's an example of a car ad that is a little bit better. As extreme as you are, it's advertising the Mercedes. There's a picture, there's text, but it's easy for you to skim through and see what you like and see if you want to buy this car. So that just about explains what cognitive overload is, with some examples of both overload and not overloaded.